Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and I'm taking a little bit of a break from the Dawn Trail news and speculation, which I'm sure I could still come up with a million videos for, to talk about something else that's got me pretty excited, and I think is going to excite some of you. Probably just from the title alone, but let me explain. So I was streaming this morning, playing a bit of 14, a little bit of DDR, and I looked over at Twitter, and I noticed a tweet from Wario64, where I get a lot of my news from, it would seem nowadays. And it was for a new entry on the Steam database, which tracks everything on the back end that happens, often how we find out about games before they're actually released on Steam, especially games that are being ported over. And it was for an entry for a game titled FANTASIAN. Now, that's enough to get some of you excited, but some of you need some explaining. FANTASIAN is a game that was developed by Mistwalker exclusively for the Apple Arcade. Now, Mistwalker is owned by Hironobu Sakaguchi, who, as many of you may or may not know, is credited as the father of Final Fantasy, one of the minds behind the original game, and someone who stuck with the projects through most of the PlayStation 1 era. Now, he's moved on and he's been making games since leaving Square Enix and opening up Mistwalker, games like Blue Dragon and FANTASIAN. But however, one big thing with Mistwalker is a lot of their titles get kind of trapped on specific platforms because most of them are co-funded by an exclusivity thing. It seems just like I think every Mistwalker game has had some sort of exclusivity clause or is only exclusively released on a single platform. And FANTASIAN was no different. Like I said, the Apple Arcade of all things. Ugh. Now, I have played it. I did actually endure the Apple Arcade, and I actually streamed it even for the first 20 hours or so. And it was a really fun game, but all everyone could say the entire time I was streaming it was, why the Apple Arcade? It's so annoying. And it was. Well, if there's a listing on SteamDB, that means it's probably coming to Steam soon, and that's not too much of a surprise. Apple Arcade has actually been releasing a lot of their exclusive contracts and releasing them on Steam. I don't know if it's because Apple is probably taking a cut of that. I'd have to imagine that if they paid for the exclusivity, there's some sort of post-exclusivity clause or something like that. But it's just been happening with a lot of the Apple Arcade titles that at least I've been noticing. And FANTASIAN looks like it's going to be added to the list of them. Now, FANTASIAN is a game with all sorts of unique ideas. It does turn-based combat, but you actually fire the attacks into a field. So you can actually line up attacks and aim attacks to hit multiple enemies, and they all have different effects and stuff like that. So it's a very engaging turn-based combat system. Also, all of the areas are actually digitally scanned physical dioramas. So essentially they actually made all of the individual zones as physical dioramas and then filmed them in 360 camera and stuff like that in order to then place them in the game, with the characters over them. But it's a really fun game. The only real complaint I had from the 20 hours I played was, I guess, the lack of voice acting. And I'm used to old school RPGs that don't have voice acting. I also didn't expect it from the Apple Arcade, so I wasn't exactly too surprised on that front. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. And since it came from the father of Final Fantasy, I figured a lot of you would probably want to know about that if you didn't know already. So with that, be sure to keep an eye out for FANTASIAN. I'm hoping for an announcement at TGS or maybe earlier than that. Who knows? But that's all I want to do. Just wanted to make a video letting you know that FANTASIAN is probably coming to Steam. Who knows about other platforms, but Steam we know for certain. Or at least we should know for certain, on SteamDB. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to do for the video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and I'll just keep doing what I do. So, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.